Hey, you've heard from Denzel Washington, or at least heard his name quite a bit in this 10 a.m. hour, but we've got more news about him in the form of his advice. That plus a word from Drew Barrymore. Let's get into all of this entertainment news with Crystal Jordan. Good morning, Crystal.
Good morning, Alex. Well, it looks like celebrities are offering advice this week.
I love it.
First, from Drew Barrymore, she had some advice for other people looking to date again. Second time around, she's 50 years old, and she was talking with her co-host Ross Matthews about a recent first date that she had. And she said she thought the date went great. She reached out to the guy afterwards because, Drew's a modern woman. So she told him she would love to see him again. And the guy ghosted her. And so she was explaining to Valerie Bertinelli and Ross that she, hurt her feelings, but she realized that, him ghosting her allowed him to see that he wasn't worth her time. And she said, let's not waste our time on people who don't deserve us. So great advice for anyone out there dating at any age. I think dating is difficult at any age. So, Drew's such a transparent person, and I'm sure that the right person is probably out there going to hear her talking about this horrible first date, and hopefully she has some better ones coming up soon.
Oh, he's definitely heard about it. I mean, there's no doubt about that he's heard about it, because I'm sure he told somebody along the way that he went on a date with Drew Barrymore. And so now I'm sure that somebody has said, hey, did you hear that Drew Barrymore is like flipping this around and saying, say la vie?
You hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
You hurt her feelings by not responding,
Yeah.
but hopefully she'll stay positive and keep reaching out. But she was very transparent about it and really taken aback by the fact that he just stopped texting her and disappeared.
Can we just take a moment to say, who ghosts Drew Barrymore? I mean, if nothing else, you guys could just be friends and keep the networking thing going, just the conversation, whatever.
Or the fact that she's a talk show host,
Right.
So if you ghost her, it's probably going to come out as it did. So, I mean, very strange, but, good for her. She got him out the way. He didn't waste any more of her time, and she knows to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he burned that bridge. Let's go ahead and figure out what Denzel Washington is saying. Let's put some more context to that mud analogy.
Yeah, well, you know what? Deion Sanders, who we know is prime time and the coach for University of Colorado football players, he had Denzel come in via Skype and talk to his players. And so Denzel like you said, Denzel has been talking a lot, but he shared with these players that they do not need to put their self-worth and validation in other people's hands, because he's like, it's going to be a lot of good days and a lot of bad days. And in addition to that mud analogy, he also referenced his time in 1992. He was up for the Oscar in 1993 with Malcolm X. And he said that he thought that he was going to get the Oscar, and he was excited. And then he thought that he had won all the way up until they read someone else's name. And he mentioned that he went home and drunk that night and felt so bad about himself because he was caught up in the validation of others. And so he shared that really, poignant story with the players, just to remind them that they have to know who they are, put their faith in God, and not to put their faith in the opinions of others. And so it's interesting because I remember watching that year, and of course everyone thought that Denzel would get the Oscar for Malcolm X, but he handled it so gracefully. So you just never know what people are dealing with behind the scenes. I never would have thought that he would have went home and been that depressed, because he's such a class act, always putting the best foot forward, congratulating others, quietly left, but he did acknowledge that he went through some really hard times dealing with the navigating being the superstar, but not always having the validation from Hollywood.
Wow. I mean, I feel like everyone can take something from that. Crystal, thank you for explaining it for us. Let's go and look that up. Let's see if we can check the clips out ourselves, because I want to hear it from him directly now. Thank you again for your time.
Absolutely. See you later, Alex.
Well, you can keep up with Crystal on social media. You can follow